Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today's block is called the chain link block, and this is a little 8-inch square block, and this is going to go into my sampler quilt that has the 16 and the 8-inch square blocks combined in it. So I made this one with 3 different prints and a background. It has 4 patch units, and then we have these little diagonal pieces that go in here. They're made kind of like half square triangles. Anyway, I hope you will stay with me and I'll show you how to make the chain link block. Here are the fabrics you're going to need to make the chain link block. For A, you'll need 4 2.5-inch squares. B is 4 2.5-inch squares. C is 1 5-inch square. D is 1 5-inch square. And E is 2 2.5-inch squares. And on the D square, I've drawn a diagonal line on the wrong side, and also on the E squares. You'll want to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side. And the first thing I'm going to do though is to make 4 patch units out of the A and the B squares. And we're going to make 2 4 patch units. So we're just going to alternate the colors. So we're going to do a red and a green, and then a green and a red, just like this. So we're going to make 2 4 patches exactly the same. So I'm going to adjust the camera and get started sewing. Now you can chain sew all of these together to speed things up a little bit, or you can do them individually. I'm going to go ahead and chain sew these. So I'm going to make both 4 patch units at the same time. And then I'm going to press, these seams towards the red fabric after I clip these apart. Okay, now I'm going to sew these into 4 patches. So I'm going to alternate the colors so that they're opposite each other. And just nest that seam together. And then I'm going to press this seam open. Okay, so here are the 2 4 patch units. I've got them both done. I'm going to set them aside, and now we're going to work on the other side. And what we're going to do is make 2 half square triangles from the C and the D units. So put those right sides together, and then sew a 1/4 inch away from this drawn line on both sides of that drawn line. Okay, now I want to cut along this drawn line. So I'll have 2 half square triangles. And then I'm going to press towards my darker fabric, which is my pink fabric here. Okay, so I have 2 half square triangles, and now I want to trim these down to measure 4.5 inches square. So I'm going to go to my cutting board and do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I have these trimmed down, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the dog ears here. You can leave these on and trim them later if you want, but I'm going to do it now. I used a clearly perfect slotted trimmer to trim my squares down, my half square triangles, and they do have a notch where you can trim off these dog ears, but I don't think it trims enough off. It always leaves a little tag behind, so I always cut off the dog ears by hand. That sounds really bad, but the little triangles, I cut those off by hand. Okay, now with the E squares, you've got a drawn line, a diagonal line on there. You want that to go from side to side on your print fabric, which is the C fabric, and put that in the corner. My diagonal line is going from side to side, and I'm going to sew on that line. And let's just do this one at a time here. Okay. Then I'm going to trim off the outer corner, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then I'll press that triangle back. And then here's the unit that I'm looking for. So I'm going to do the same to the last piece here. Now trim this one. Okay, and here is my second one. And I'm going to adjust the camera and show you how I'm laying all of these pieces out. I have my 2 half square triangle pieces and my 2 4-patch units. And I'm going to start with this piece here. And I'm just following my diagram. And you can do this however you want. I'm going to have the greens going through the center. You could have your reds going through the center if you want to. I'm just kind of matching my reds with the pinks right here. So that is how it goes together. So we're just going to sew it together like a 4-patch. So along this seam and this one, I'll press and then sew it along the horizontal seam. All right, I'm going to press and then we'll sew the last seam. Okay, I'm going to nest the center seam and I'm going to pin it, and then we'll sew this together. Okay, one last press and we'll look at the block. Okay, here is the finished chain link block, and that turned out really well. I'm real happy with this. Now this block did take me some work to get all the measurements down. The 4 patches, of course, were real easy. These blocks were the ones that I had to work at to figure out the right method of creating the illusion of a chain link. So, it just took a little work, but it's done. So this is the chain link block. So I hope you will give this block a try. Okay, that is it for the chain link block. This is a really cute little block. I think this would be really interesting as a quilt with these blocks set side by side. I'll have to experiment with this and see what comes and see how that looks. Anyway, I hope you like this block, and I hope you like this video. And if you did, please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links, and to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.